You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Trump's cognitive health and tiny fair crowds take center stage in brutal Jimmy Fallon bit, based on an article by Daniel Hampton. Trump's fair, Congress's silence, and the politics of performance, power on display. The only real power in this story sits where it always sits, with Donald Trump as president, and with a Republican-controlled House that can bury oversight before it becomes accountability. The national malfare is not just a harmless gimmick attached to America's 250th anniversary celebrations. It is a stage built for presidential self-regard, with institutional legitimacy wrapped around spectacle. The joke is the cover. The immediate source material is simple enough. Jimmy Fallon spent another night mocking Trump's Great American State Fair, leaning hardest into jokes about Trump's cognitive fitness and the president's own absurd stories about screening tests. That is the surface event. The deeper fact is that Trump himself made his mental testing part of the political theater, repeatedly boasting about it and turning a basic assessment into a badge of dominance. Misdirection by entertainment. Late-night ridicule makes for easy consumption, but it also risks laundering the real problem. The target becomes the joke, not the architecture that produces it. Trump's physician is treated as a punchline. The animals named during a cognitive test become comedy material, and the audience gets release without responsibility. Meanwhile, the president gets exactly what he wants: attention on his terms, even when the attention is hostile. Accountability without consequence. There is at least one adult response in the source rep. Jamie Raskin introduced legislation to create a 17-member commission to assess whether a sitting president can discharge the duties of the office under the 25th Amendment. That is the political system admitting, belatedly and weakly, that the question is not whether Trump can provoke headlines, but whether the office has any effective mechanism left to test him. The answer in the House is no, because Republicans control the chamber and can refuse even a vote. The pattern beneath the pageant. What this story reveals is a familiar pattern of modern degradation, authoritarian self-promotion, institutional cowardice, and media noise replacing governance. Trump turns civic celebration into personal branding. His allies preserve the arrangement by denying oversight. Commentators and comedians are left to perform alarm in the only space still open to them. That is not accountability. It is a system that lets power stage its own farce and then calls the farce coverage. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Raw Story for today's article. With it automated voice of Bryce. Thanks for listening.